Hello, everyone. Jason Crawford here from WP Roundtable, and tonight we've got a special guest, Andrés Cifuentes. Andrés is from here in Colombia, and he now works for WPML and on-the-go systems in Madrid. Is that right?
Actually, in Sevilla. Right now, I'm in Madrid, but I live in Sevilla.
Okay, well, and that's also in Spain, I believe.
Yes, it's a couple of hours by train, so it's okay.
Okay, fair enough. So he's coming to us from Spain, and if you're coming around to watching this live, otherwise you probably won't notice, but we're a couple hours late. We had a little bit of a time zone miscommunication, so here we are. And Andres, tell us what I've missed. What are you all about, and what have you done with your career?
Okay, so as you were saying, right now I'm working with on-the-go systems. It's been almost a year already. I work as a supporter, but I consider myself a front-end developer. I most of the time work as a front-end developer. What else can I say? I work a couple of years, almost 3-4 years in Paris. I moved last year here to Spain. Then start to work with on-the-go systems, and here I am.
All right, well, here you are. And so we do this thing every week where we do a pick of the week. And just before we get going, Kyle is in, I want to say he's at Wordcamp, but anyways, he wasn't going to make it. And Mark couldn't stick around. He showed up and couldn't make it. So my pick of the week is actually going to be Kyle. And and give me a second here, I need to think about it. Adam Silver, rapping on which one is better, themes or plugins, at a WordCamp. So if you want to see really two of the whitest rappers ever, there you go. And they are absolutely, both of them are absolutely horrible. And it's quite entertaining to watch them try to rap about WordPress. It's on WordPress TV, and you can check that out. I've thrown the link in the show notes, and anybody who wants to see it can check that out. Did you have anything you wanted to share, Andres?
No.
Fair enough. And for those who don't know, what time is it in Spain right now, Andres?
Right now it's 3:20 in the morning.
3:20 in the morning. All right.
Yeah.
Just an hour away from. Oh wait, never mind. So you grew up here in Colombia, right?
Yes.
Whereabouts?
Actually, I'm a chemical engineer. My background as a chemical engineer. I worked for almost, I don't know, 5-6 years over in that area there in Colombia. Then I decided to make a breakout. I was always working in Flash, as I think a lot of us were working in Flash in that time. So I was familiar with that, but it was more like a hobby, but I like it. So I wasn't happy working as an engineer. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to give it a real try. So in that moment, I decided to move to Paris and start making a degree in web. It was actually a kind of master in. It was a very funny master because there were developers, writers, designers. So there was a lot of people from a lot of the background. So that allowed me to try to find a place in that moment. So I finished my master, and then I found a job. I started as an internship, and then I moved and continued working with this company for almost 3-4 years. And well, so that's the moment. As I said previously, at that moment I just moved to Spain, and here I am working for on-the-go systems.
So where did you grow up? Where were you originally from?
Yeah, I'm from, Colombia. So I'm from the coffee region, from the Quindío. This is small Quindío, Armenia. Actually, the city is Armenia. It's a small city. It's around 300,000 people over there. It's really calm. It's a really nice city. I don't know. It's like I don't know. I was a couple of months there. I think it's more like for old people, for young people, but it's not really for. I mean, for child it's okay. For children it's okay. But for teenager, I don't know. It's kind of boring. There's nothing too much to do, and it's not like a boiling city. So it's okay for being a child, but when you grow up, it's like kind of you need. I don't know. You need to push a little bit. So it was. In that moment, I moved to Medellin. Medellin is a lot more modern city. There are more things going over there. Even if it's a quiet city for development, there's a lot of people doing right now things. So it's like kind of really motivating in that aspect.
And what did you think when you were a child? What did you want to do when you grew up?
I wanted to be a doctor.
A doctor?
Yeah, as my father. But I don't know. I thought all my life that I was going to be a doctor until I was in my senior high school. In that moment, just a couple of months before finishing my bachelor, I decided, no, I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm going to be an engineer. I don't have idea why. I don't know idea what happened because I think I wasn't prepared for that. I always liked biology, stuff like that. But in that moment, I say, okay, no, I choose the chemistry. And well, it was good for 5 years. After that, I decided, okay, no, it's not even that what I want to do.
So I don't know if you're aware of this or not. I think we talked about this, but the other day I was having a tres cordilleras. And
yes.
Are you aware of them?
Of Tres Cordilleras?
Uh-huh.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I think there's a big movement to home brewing here. And small breweries. I think, have you considered coming back home and starting a brewery?
Actually, I do. I don't know if you are familiar with Cervecería Libre.
With what?
Cervecería Libre.
No, I'm not familiar with them.
Okay, so this is a very good. Actually, there are two very good friends of mine that are working on that. Yeah, they started that project. It's a new brewery store. It's around Barrio Colombia. So they have a very good IPA. They have a really interesting. I don't know. It's like I don't like it that much, but it's really interesting. It's a maracuja beer. Is really fresh, kind of sweet. It's like like a summer beer. But it's okay, I like it. But it's a really nice place. It's small, good music, good beer, cheap. So you have to go. You have to give it a try to that place.
All right. And next time I convince Diana that me, her, and the baby go out, we'll definitely go check it out. Yeah,
you have to do it. But yes, actually, I was talking with my friend about that. But it's like it wasn't. They have already started with that. So sometimes it's not the moment to join because they have already a project in mind. So okay, I don't know. Maybe in the future.
All right. Well, I just thought it might be a great opportunity for somebody who enjoys chemical combinations and biology and stuff.
Yeah. What about you? Do you like it? I don't know. I mean, really making beer?
Oh, no, I like drinking beer.
Okay, yeah, I agree. We both do.
I'm sure you remember.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, I met Andrés. He came in. He asked to speak at our local WordPress meetup, and we wanted to meet first, and we met at a bar and got pretty wasted, if I remember right.
Yeah, I actually can remember a lot, but yes, I do remember we were there.
So that's great. So you've gone from not wanting to be a doctor anymore to going into engineering to doing Flash and other web type projects. What brought you into WordPress?
Actually, there was, at that time, it was like, let me count, it was around, there were already 6 years ago, I think. And the first contact that I had with WordPress, it wasn't the best. It was really tough because in that moment it wasn't, I mean, I was familiar with the blogging type of WordPress in that moment, but I was already, in that moment, I was starting to think like a developer. So I say, okay, I want to know how does it work, okay? I want to know until what point you can customize or what you can really do with this. So I was doing my master, and I have this teacher. He was really energetic. He was like, okay, this is it. I'm going to show you where WordPress is and what you're capable to do. It was really nice. But he started with people that doesn't have a really, you know, as I said, we were editors, developer, designers, and his first lesson was try to build a team, a WordPress team from the scratch. So it was like, okay, no, there's a lot of people here that doesn't understand what is HTML, PHP, CSS. You can't start like that because you're going to you're going to make it scary. So I was completely lost. I was, okay, I know, this is too complex for me. I'm not going to understand it. But I don't know, a little, I started to dig in, to move into playing with that. I say, okay, no, actually it wasn't that bad. It was just, I think it wasn't the correct approach in that moment. And at that moment I switched to this agency, and they work a lot of, they were not WordPress exclusively, but at that moment they were becoming, every time there was they needed a CMS, they always shoot WordPress. So I can say there was like 60% of the projects were in WordPress. So we work a lot in that moment for that. At the moment I just started to work with that. I said like, oh, okay, now ready. You can do whatever you want here. They have such a community. Well, I don't know. I could say I fell in love in that moment.
Well, I do want to get into the community, but before we do that, I want to talk about your job at On The Go. What exactly do you do for them, and what's your daily life like?
Okay, so what is my daily life? I can say that I start working at 8. Actually, I work in remote. It's a nice feature. I really like, because that is precisely what allowed me to, for example, I stayed 3 months in Colombia last year. So it was the first time that I went to Colombia in over 3-4 years. And it was the first time that I spent Christmas with my mother for, I think, for 10 years. So it was like, wow, okay. So I started working at 8. I'm a first-year supporter, so almost my job is to give a quickly response to people that have issues with WPML, or that need, I don't know, kind of how-to questions or box questions, everything related. And my job is to give a fast answer and detect if there is a real problem with the plugin. In the moment if I detect that there's something that is real big, that I found a bug, then I have to escalate that and go to contact the developers and say, okay, here we really have a problem. So try to inform, like a fireman, something like that. I try to consider myself like a fireman. So I work like a regular guy from 8 to 5 to 6. It depends on the day. And right now I'm starting to do other things with the company. I start to write a little bit. I just wrote my first blog post. I'm also working with some what we call compatibility issues. I mean, we have created another department that is called the compatibility team, because we have detected that there are not only issues with WPML, but there are a lot of issues about how WPML interact with other plugins and themes. For example, when themes are not well coded, or plugins are not well coded, but they are not localized. I mean, we have to, sometimes we need to contact the authors just to try to make them compatible, or sometimes they are just the way the plugins or themes are built. They need to make some modifications in order to work properly with our plugins. So I started to work recently with that. I could say only a couple of weeks. I don't know. I think it's pretty much what I do over there.
Okay, so I'm guessing the whole world wants to know, does the WPML support staff wear pants?
It depends on the time. For example, right now, I couldn't say that. I can get up.
So you're not necessarily going to be the guy that spent a year with no pants.
No. No, but really, I do. I do want to. I do prefer to wake up early in the morning. I know. And handle this like a real job. You know, like okay, eat something before 8. Take a shower. Put some pants. Not every time, but sometimes put some pants. I don't know. Really feel like I'm working here. Okay.
That's good. That's great to hear. So let's see. You've been working there. You said about 2 years now. Is that right? Or 1 year?
Not the Go systems. Yes, 1 year.
Okay, and most of your support that you do and other plugin development, I suppose, that comes from this. Do you do most of that in English or in Spanish or?
Okay. Yeah, no. Actually, one of the things that I really like about the supporting WPML is that it's not only on English. As you can say, English is not my first language. So we have different forums. We have French, Spanish, Portuguese. Let me think about that. German, Arabic, and I think Chinese also. But we could say that most of the tickets are from the English forum. I could say around around 50–60%. I could say there is the second one is Spanish around 20, French around 50. Well, yeah, I think the math is not okay, but something like that. Okay, the most important is English. Then in that order is Spanish, German, French, and then the other forms. So, for example, me, I work most of the time in the Spanish, French, and if I have time and I'm not really loaded, I can take also English for English tickets. So.
All right, nice.
Yeah, I really like that.
So I want to kind of move off of this a little bit, off of your work a little bit, and talk to you about how the internet is different. I know we kind of talked about this offline a little bit, but how is the internet different in these different languages?
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I've been thinking about that, and what could you say? We can still say that. Sorry, I'm gonna plug my computer. We could say that English is still the first language. I mean, if you need something, if you have to try, if you have a bug, if you have a problem with something, it's your first instinct. You know, you try to search in English because you know that you're going to find more information about that. But I think it's been changing for the last couple of years. I think 3–4 years is starting to change. For example, I can see it in Spanish and French. I can talk about other different languages, but just talking about Spanish and French, you can say that okay, no, really, just talking about WordPress. I mean, you can see how the communities are being built and how they are growing, and you can start finding a lot of more information over there in the web. So it's a change. It's going to take time, but you can say how's it going. Actually, well, at the same time, you have to say that. For example, talking about percentages, you can say, for example, it's different to compare, or it's not fair to compare, for example, 1 million, and then you 10%, it will be, well, 1,100,000, something like that. But when you have small change, no, when you have more changes, how do you say it? When the population, how do you say that? I'm really sorry. Be patient with that. What I want to mean is when you have a smaller population, and you can see more important percentage changes. You know, you can rescue me here. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. But you're talking about specifically within the WPML community forums, right?
Not exactly. I'm talking in general, actually. I'm talking about how people perceive how, when something is growing, when something is already growing, you can perceive the changes in a more specific way because you grow from 0 to 10, so you have a from 0 to 10, no, just something like that. From 0 to 1, for example. Mm. Here you have a 100% of growth. You see?
Mm.
But when
you have a smaller group.
Exactly. You can think that it's going faster, but when you think in terms of population, you say, okay, it's not that much. You see? That's what I'm trying to say in a clever way.
Well, and of course, my natural instinct is always to Google or YouTube. These search engines are a prime example. But my natural instinct, obviously, is to jump in it and search for something in English. It wasn't until maybe the last year or two that I've started, having to use search in Spanish, and I feel like there's really a huge gap between what's available on the internet in English versus what's in Spanish. For example, if I'm trying to help my fiance learn to cook a particular dish, of course it would be easier if I could find those directions or that recipe in Spanish, and or even how to properly use a device. It doesn't, that same level of knowledge doesn't seem to exist in Spanish as it does in English, where there's 5,000 cooking websites. And there might be 1 or 2, but they don't have anything remotely close to what I'm trying to cook. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. But for example, sometimes it happens to me when I'm trying to find I'm searching for something, whatever. But sometimes I just can't find the words. And when you try to, okay, I can put it out in English because I don't know, because I'm thinking in Spanish in that moment, I really can't. And then you type something and you say, okay, now that I found what I wanted, maybe I don't find that kind of information. I can't find that volume of information, but now I have some tools that can help me to find that information in English. But I completely agree with you. It's not you can compare it with that. Maybe in French, you have a really strong community, but the problem with that is that the population is not that much, but they are really active. So sometimes looking French is nice, but you see, you're comparing a population of, well, I don't know, we are like 300 million people speaking Spanish against, I don't know, 80 million people speaking French. So you can see it's not fair to compare, but they're really active about that. So sometimes French is a good start.
How many people are speaking Spanish?
I think it's 350 million, something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be a huge amount. I mean, think of most of South America, Spain, various other countries around the world. I mean,
yeah, I think something like that. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's a matter of community. So I could say that here in Spain is stronger, but in South America it's starting to change, I guess.
And you think, is there anything like we can do from the WordPress world? Would better translations or more translatable software, do you think that would kind of help people get their message out at all?
Yeah, of course. For example, right now, I think, I can't remember exactly the date. I think it's in 2 weeks, I guess. It's the Polyglot, I can't remember the name of that. It's the Polyglot Day, something like that, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at while I'm talking with you. For example, that day actually, it depends on us, you see? For example, from the authors, what can we find? What can we expect? That everything, every plugin should be localized or should be able to free from translation. But in that moment, it depends of us. It depends on our Spanish community. We have to really get involved. I know I think you have seen that in Colombia, that there is a small WordPress community, but people, they are not really willing to participate there. You have to push them to participate, and it's something that we have to overcome.
Well, I'll just throw it out there. When you were here, I think we had 50-something members in the group. It's now up to about 160.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, we haven't been able to have a meeting since you were here, but I'm hoping with the next one. I'm looking for a bigger venue because I think we packed out the last one, and we only had, 30 people there. But I think a lot of this is also economics. So in the English-speaking world, everybody has Visa and MasterCard and PayPal. So it's really easy to create content and, put a link, affiliate marketing, or whether it's, courses that people can pay for, or whatever it is. It's a lot easier to make a profit in that English-speaking world, I think, than it is here. I mean, I don't know what products people could use Bank Colombia and get an affiliate product and get affiliate commissions off of. I think that's a large part to do with why there's just not as much information, it doesn't seem, in Spanish, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But at the same time, you could say that is, for example, me, I have thought a lot of it in that. It's like, I know, it's like it's like they're watching the time from another perspective. I mean, if you see Colombia, it's like there was the war around 5, maybe 7 years before. You see that all people that just started to buy by internet, doing the fact like that. So maybe it's even an opportunity. Yeah, you can say it's an obstacle, but at the same time you could say it's an opportunity. Why? Because you say, okay, I could take that model, I don't know, just for saying something. I could make this Airbnb work here in Colombia because it will be something new and people doesn't know it. Maybe I can make a business model here. So yeah, you're totally right, but there are some people doing it right now, some interesting things over there. For example, I knew a guy that is, I don't know if you have heard about Pagomio.
About what?
Pagomio is
like Pay Latam, PayPal type thing.
Yeah, something like that. But the idea is the kind of payment portal that try to, as you see, in Colombia, every bank has his own payment system. Okay, so Colombia has his. I know it depends on the bank. I don't know if it doesn't make sense for me. Okay, because if you want to buy something, it depends on the bank. It doesn't depend on you. That is completely, I don't know, completely stupid. You have your credit card and that's it. That's it. You pay. You only need to give your money. That's it. You doesn't have to incline for the system that that the bank use. But this guy said, okay, this is stupid. Let's try to build a payment system that try to get everyone involved here. So he's starting. I don't know. I think they have been already bought for another big company, something like that.
But that one's that's just for Colombia, correct? Or is that?
Yeah, right. I think right now that you've been bought for another company, they are going to, I think, expanding in Mexico and Chile, I think.
Yeah, something like that'll be nice. I really think that something like that will grow the. Because what do? We put out free content in order to sell our products, and a lot of that's free information is valuable information. Like your blog posts, might explain something that we want to know about WPML. And purchase that product as an example. And I think the distinction, the different payment systems, because if I write something in English, some guy in Australia and a guy in Canada can each buy my product or my service or whatever that is. And that's really difficult to do with multiple payment networks.
Yeah.
So that's one of my theories on why I have a hard time finding so much information. There's so much information in English and not always what I'm looking for in Spanish.
Yeah, it's a matter of time as well. You see, as I see this, just talking about Colombia, because I can say that it's the same in Venezuela or Chile or Mexico. I really can say, but talking about Colombia, it's like a time machine. Like seeing how was the world 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't know. I try to see it as an opportunity, like, okay, so maybe I saw that model that work here, maybe I can take it over there. It has a lot of work, I guess. It's not just to copy and paste, but but maybe it could work.
You give it the 5 to 6, 7 years, in general, I say Colombia is 20 years behind the U.S.
That's unfair, but yes, I know your feeling sometimes.
Especially when it comes to the music they're playing in the streets. If you walk by any music on La Setenta or any street that's in English,
no.
it's from the 70s or 80s or 90s.
No, I can say like 30 or 40 years ago. Yeah, it's like a really time machine.
What's really funny is I work with people in like, England and the US and Canada, and my internet is always faster than theirs.
Sorry, how is that? Which one?
My internet here in Colombia is faster than most of the people I deal with in Canada or the US.
Yeah, I completely agree. The first time that when I came here, I said like, okay, I had a better internet connection in Colombia than here. Okay, how is it going? Well,
they've definitely got that down. I'm going to be joining a co-working space here, and as soon as there's a space opening up next week after Semana Santa, and they just got fiber optic installed. So I'm really looking forward to seeing just how quickly that racks up the speed.
Okay, that's nice.
All right, so I think we kind of covered that. Any other thoughts on like how we can help and impact like languages, these other languages to getting up to having the same amount of information as, because I think really that we've got this real growing web community. I think Russia is really big on it as well, but I don't speak Russian enough to figure that out. Where we can find all the answers, and we've got the online education systems. I take college classes online in the U.S. Are there any other ways you can think that maybe we at our level can help to kind of grow these other languages?
I don't know. I think it depends really on us. It doesn't really depend on. I think, for example, what you're trying to do there in Medellin, or what you're doing in Medellin, is something that really helps. I mean, is try to share this WordPress spirit, because I think that we are not used to it. I don't know. I think we have a really individualistic. How do you say that? Individualistic mind. I don't know. We are always thinking about ourselves and how we can get money or what I'm going to get from here. Well, I say, okay, if I get this stock, what I'm going to win here. I think we have to change that, because actually this is a great community that gives you a lot. So you have to start changing your mind. You have to say, sharing. I don't know. A lot of time we can say, but what can I do? I don't know. I'm not a super developer. I'm not a super designer. I'm not just a regular guy, for example. That's what I always say about me. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a genius. I'm not stupid. I'm just a normal guy. But I saw some things that maybe some guys that doesn't know. So why can't share that? So it's about, I don't know, like when you start to grow in a community, when you try to spread this spirit of sharing, you see. I think you can see the fruits of that. So you're going to see how you can see more documentation, how people is inspired to write, to try to contact other people, to build some things. For example, okay, so I knew, for example, here in Medellin, I know you. So okay, we start to create relationships. Maybe we have an idea later and say, okay, why don't we to do it? So I think it's more, it's more a mindset changing. We need to try to share what we know.
I think there's a lot of that going on here, and I don't know how much of you got to saw, but I think there's a lot of entrepreneurial groups and meetups going on, and the meetups are kind of new here. I know you got to join us for one, but it's just now starting to kind of take off in that way, and there's a lot of co-working spaces going up. So next time you visit, I think if you take an effort to look at that, I think you'll see a lot going on, actually.
Yeah, I hope so. Actually, I was kind of surprised, because a lot of friends of mine that I think that they are like technical guys, I was like, okay, there's a meetup. Do you want to come? Sorry, a meetup? What is a meetup? I say, okay, so you're not familiar with that. I don't think it's a sin or that it's something criminal that you don't know that you are not familiar with that. But at the same time, there are some standards that you think that everyone knows about that. You see? For example, I really would like to see a WordCamp Medellin, for example. That would be awesome.
Well, we'd really like to get one going. I'm trying to work with these guys and build the group up, and we'll see what we can get.
Yeah, I know you're doing a good job over there.
Well, you know what? Since you bring it up, let's jump into WordCamps. Tell us which WordCamps have you been to? Maybe what was your first experience like?
Okay, I have to say that I think actually no, the first WordCamp that I went ever, I really remember, and it was really one of the reasons that I came in, as I said before, I fell in love with the community. It was Wordcamp Europe. It was Leiden to 2013, I think. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Leiden in Netherlands. It's a small town in Netherlands.
Yep.
And it was the first WordCamp that I went. It was the first big WordCamp in Europe. It was around 1,000 people, I think, something like that. By now, for example, for this year, we are expecting around 2,000. It's a huge WordCamp. And I don't know, it was kind of funny because I just saw it. I was, in the moment I have decided I was going to move from Paris, but it was a matter of time. I was trying to put everything together to leave Paris in a better way. And I heard about this WordCamp and I say, okay, I just want to go. Maybe I try to join the French community, and it didn't work out, I think. So I say, okay, let's give it another try. Let's try to join this WordCamp. Let's give it a try. So I signed up as a volunteer. I went there, and it was awesome. I don't know. I knew those people. It was the first time that felt like I was giving something and feel like a member, like a member of a community. So I worked all the weekend. I knew a lot of huge people. Actually, I knew a girl over there, not my girlfriend. I have to. I knew a girl there. It was a Spanish developer from Sevilla, and she told me, you have to come to Sevilla, and maybe we can do something together over there. And I say, okay, why not? I'm thinking about moving. Why not Sevilla? I didn't have idea. I knew it was a beautiful city, but I didn't know how it was going on in a WordPress perspective. And here I am. I moved to Sevilla a couple of years after that WordCamp. So it was a huge experience for me.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that.
Yeah. And after that, I tried to go to every WordCamp Europe. So last year I went. It was in Sevilla, so it was really easy. It was awesome also. Okay, and this year is in Vienna. I volunteer also this time. I volunteered last year as well. This time is also in Vienna, volunteering. I applied for speaking, but I don't know. They haven't answered. I think they are kind of late because they should be supposed to release the speakers as a couple of weeks already. So I don't know. I'm waiting for an announcement. It's kind of hard because you can imagine that around 2,000 people going over there. How many speakers, really experienced speakers, can be there? But you have to give it a try. You never know if you don't do it.
Well, I'm curious. With WordCamp Europe, do they have it broken down into separate languages, or is there one like generally accepted language that everybody speaks?
Yeah, I can say that 90% of the time is only English, but sometimes there are some exceptions for some speakers. For example, here in Spain, there were around like the 10% of people they speak in Spanish with translation with how do you call that, with instant translation.
And that's WordCamp Europe?
Yeah, I can say about that. And before that, everything was in English. Yeah, I think it was the first time that they made some talks in other language than English.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't know about Vienna. I don't know how it's going to handle that. I don't know if they're going to be some German talks. And really, I have no idea for the moment.
You didn't submit your talk in German?
Actually, no. I don't speak German. I knew some words. Sometimes I understand some things, but I really don't speak German at all.
No?
No, it would be nice.
Well, yeah, you've got more languages under your belt than I do, so good luck.
Okay, no, but you haven't started.
I still struggle with Spanish.
Yeah, we can switch a little bit in Spanish if you want. You really speak a good Spanish.
I don't think most of our viewers would understand it.
Yeah, but they have to make an effort with my English, so.
Well, if you want, we can do the next 10 minutes in Spanish. I don't know how well it'll work. I'm not drinking.
Okay, no, so please don't worry. Or if you want, you can have another beer. Yeah, I have already finished my coffee, so there is nothing that I can do here.
Yeah, Spanish gets better the more I drink. I don't know if that's really true or not, but it seems to be.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's something like that.
So you've been to a good number of WordCamps. Are there any that were like just especially interesting? Maybe not just the presentations, but the whole experience.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I understand. What?
Out of all the WordCamps you've been to, are there any that have just been really more interesting than the others?
Okay. I don't know. Well, for me, the most important it was the first time, of course, because it was the first time actually, because it marked some precedents, and after that, let's say that it became like I wanted to become an active member of the community, to try to go to meetups, to go to local WordCamps, something like that. But I don't know. After that,
which one has the best beer? Let me ask you that.
Which one? What?
Which WordCamp has the best beer?
I have to say WordCamp Sevilla. Well, WordCamp Europe Sevilla, that's different, because there's going to be a WordCamp Sevilla this year. But yeah, last year it was, because actually there was something that changed. The first two WordCamps were in October. So the spring, no, it's not the spring, it's the, what is the opposite? The fall, thank you. So it was okay, but it was kind of cold. But last year it was middle of the summer. It was really hot. It was 40 degrees, and you say you only want a beer, and you only want a beer, and you see it, and you say like, okay, that's going to change my perspective. So yeah, I could say that Sevilla changed a lot of the way of viewing beer.
Well, you're going to WordCamp London soon, right?
Yeah, actually, that's why I'm here in Madrid, because I thought that I could go directly to UK, but it looks like I need some permit to go there. So I came tonight. Have an appointment here in 3 hours, no, in 4 hours, and well, and then I hope that everything was fine. It should be. It did not be. I think it's more like a bureaucratic thing that we are like, it's not a visa. I know it's that. Actually, it's weird. It's not a visa. It's a permit. So I don't understand, but I have to do it. Yeah, England is kind of weird in that aspect.
What's that?
No, that England is kind of weird, because it's like it's Europe, but it's not Europe. It's Europe, but it's not Schengen. So you need some different things to go over there. Yeah. So if everything goes right, I'll go in 2 weeks. It looks like a real life thing, what the talk is about, and it looks like a real interesting WordCamp. I've never been in a WordCamp in London, so I'm having pretty huge expectations about that. So waiting for that.
So when you get done with that, you've got to come back and tell us if the beer was better.
Yeah. I can say that it will be expensive. It will be expensive. I can say it's going to be better or not. Yeah, believe me, you don't have double thoughts when you have a beer of €1 and you have a beer or around €8. There's a huge difference of size and price. But €1 beer, you say, okay, let's go. But when you say, okay, 8, 9, you say, okay, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to have to come back to Colombia if you want good priced beer.
Yeah.
I think we drank all night for under $20.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I'm afraid of you, really. I'm really afraid of you. Yes, of course. Really, I don't know. That night, I can barely remember how I came back. How I came back home, and I left, and I was really wasted. And you say like, okay.
That doesn't mean you need to. I don't know if you want to compete with me.
No. Actually, I don't want to compete with you. You win already. It's yours.
Did you ever find that burrito shop I was telling you about?
Yes, actually, yes. But it was a couple of days later. Not that night. No.
Oh,
okay. But I found it a couple of days later after that. But it was closed. It was around midnight, so they were already closing. So, but I have another friend that told me that it was really, really good. So I believe you. It seems that it's a really good place. But well, I don't have proofs, but only testimonies.
Oh well, maybe next time.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else have we got on the list that we've got to cover? I think. What do you do for fun?
For fun, I don't know. Right now, I don't have a lot of things for fun. I'm trying to rebalance my things over there because I think I was working too much, and I wanted to I don't know, to have another perspective. So I started a new course. I started a Portuguese course lesson. So it's been only a couple of weeks. I'm trying to learn Portuguese. It sounds really nice so far. I can get a word of that because it gets mixed with Spanish and French. It's like a kind of portuñol, a weird portuñol that comes out about my mind. And you see, when we joke about talking Portuguese, we always add an inho at the end of every word. So it's kind of stupid, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So right now my teacher is like, okay, Andrés, please shut up. Don't add an inho to every word because it doesn't work like that, please. So, okay, sorry, I won't say it anymore. Anymore senior, something like that, you see? So
you actually study foreign languages for fun?
Yeah, why not? I like it.
I have to throw myself into a country that I don't speak the language of and just live there for a couple of years to figure it out. Yeah. There's no amount of classes are going to help me.
No, I don't know. I think you've seen that. You've seen that in Colombia. It really hurts at the beginning because you really feel like a little baby that you can help yourself. You can like, okay, I want to eat, but I don't say how can I eat? I need to do something, but I can't do it. I need someone to do it for me. I don't know. It's like going back and be a little baby. But after that awkward moment, then when you start giving some works and you start getting used to it, it really gets fun because I don't know. It's another way to approach to a different culture. So you know a lot about culture, about how people think, about everything, and you can start building another bridges with people. So it's a very nice experience. Well, but besides learning new languages, I like photography. I can't stop it a lot. I'm thinking about buying a new camera because I got divorced from the photography 1 year ago when my girlfriend broke up my camera. So yeah, we were, I don't know, we were in Granada, in the south of Spain. We were traveling a little bit for a weekend. Everything was in slow motion. We were eating something, and then she moved her arm like that. And that moment I saw the camera just falling down the table in slow motion. No! And then she really crashed the lens. It was the most explosive thing. After a moment, I couldn't record myself. But right now, I kind of miss that. I have a very good friend in Sevilla that's kind of funny because he really likes to go to natural parks to do some photography. So it's not the thing that I found the most interesting, but why not? So I'm thinking about buying a new camera and start to maybe just give it a trial. It can work, maybe.
All right, sweet. And how about soccer?
Soccer, I love it, but it's been a long time that I can't play. Yeah, I really miss that. Actually, I have to say that I really miss that. I think it's one of the things the most that I miss the most from Colombia. For example, I used to play every Saturday. We have a kind of informal match every Saturday with fat people. You see, around 2, 3 in the afternoon. So you finish around 4 or 5. It's still hard. You come here after the match. It's a really good combination of soccer then beer. But here in Europe, I don't know. All my friends, they don't play football. Actually, they don't like soccer. So like, okay, I can play. So far, it's been a long time since the last time that I played. I could say 1 year or 2 years, something like that.
Maybe you should see how successful a soccer meetup would be in Spain.
Yeah, maybe. Do you play soccer?
No, I'm really just trying to get under your skin because every Colombian gets upset when I call soccer soccer.
Yeah. Yeah. It hurts.
It's football. It's football. No, it's not football.
Yes, it's football. Sorry, I didn't agree with it.
All right. If you had to choose another CMS besides WordPress, what would it be?
Well, whoa. No, this is a hard question because so far, I think I'd rather stay with WordPress. I had worked with Spip. I don't know if you are familiar with Spip. It's a French CMS. It was, at that moment, I'm talking about 5 years ago, it was really well known there. But I think it's a good CMS, but I think it has a huge lack of community. There's a lot of people working there, but when you compare people, it's not the same. So you are really on your own. You say, okay, there are a lot of small models. Actually, they are there. They are free, but it's really limited. So after the moment, you are on your own, and you don't have the community behind you. So it's like going in commando. You say, okay, I'll choose Spip. Okay, go on your own, Rambo. Do the job, soldier. At least for me. I mean, I know. I guess if you're talking about an experienced developer, I don't consider myself a developer. I consider more a front end. So you see, maybe a developer, they can feel more comfortable about that. I give it a try, Joomla, and it wasn't a good experience for me because I have to say it was a complicated project. It was a huge project for a huge event in France. But there were a lot of limitations about Joomla version. I mean, I think at that moment we were working with a Joomla version of 1 year old, something like that. So we have a lot of limitations. We couldn't upgrade. I don't know, it was like a kind of conflict with the people they were working the previous event, something like that. And it was an awful experience because every time we want to do something, they could be done because our version wasn't compatible. So I don't know. I can see that I have a lot of experience with another CMS, but I could say I still stick to WordPress. Sorry.
All right, fair enough. Is there anything we should have asked you about that I should have asked you about that I didn't?
No, so far, no. I can tell you that I'm going to make a couple of meetups for the next week. So it's very interesting that as you see, we made a small meetup about WPML, or not about WPML, but about the multi-lingual site WordPress. But right now I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about building teams with GroundJS. So I'm going to make a meetup right now in Sevilla in 2 weeks, and I'm going to repeat it in Madrid in 1 month. And I also was talking with a friend that it was just a couple of hours before, and he invited me to do it to Cadiz, to another city in the south of Spain, to try to make this talk over there. So I don't know, it's kind of fun to go all over Spain, just a little bit talking about something. So I'm very excited about that.
All right, sweet. Oh, I totally forgot to ask, and even forgot I put it in the show notes. Thoughts on a real quick rundown of? Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you can't hear the baby back there. Quick thoughts on the tool set that On the Go has put out.
Okay, so as you know, I work for On the Go. They're the creators of WPML, that I think is the most known product, but they also have toolset. And toolset so far is not that well known as WPML, but it's a huge package for me. You can do a lot of things with that. For example, it's a free plugin of that package because it's a paid plugin. There is types. You really should give it a try. I really like that. I don't know. I think I could, for example, before. Actually, I didn't know types before working here. I have to say that. I have to confess that. I really like advanced custom fields. It's a really well-known plugin. And types, it has a lot of the functionalities that has advanced custom fields. For example, there is one that I really liked. It's about the repeater fields. There is it's a big version of ACF. Here it comes with types, so that is free. And it also has a lot of things that I like. The possibility to build custom taxonomies and custom post types. So, for example, if you are not a developer and you don't want to register those things, this is really easy to do it by this plugin. It also has another functionality that I really like and I really use a lot. Is that, for example, you can build a custom post type, and you can make a child custom post type of this post. For example, you have a restaurant here as a custom post type, and you have a menu as a custom post type. You see?
Like a child post type?
Exactly. So you can make a relation between them. It's really easy to use. So that keep you organize your information in a really clever, what I consider a clever way. He only adds a meta key just to put a relation between them, and then you can call them differently. It has a lot of hooks working for that. I think this is a really impressive plugin. After that, you have a lot of other plugins that come with the package. For example, you have to create that allows you to create some forms from the front end. Then you have access just to handle how your users handle capabilities and permission for users. And you also have views that is like how do you call that?
That's kind of like a layout editor, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, something. Yeah, that's it. So it's a very impressive package. So you should give it a try. I think they're planning to do some kind of promo for a couple of weeks. So maybe it would be a good time to start. But if you want just to give it a try, you can start with types. That is free. and then you can get it to the wild one. Maybe try the other set of plugins.
Nice. I've gotten to play with types in the past, but it's the only one I've got. It's the only one of the tools that I've been able to play with and actually put to use. So
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. As far as custom post types go, it was definitely a good plugin. I didn't have any use for child post types. I'll have to look into that. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, I really like that feature. For example, right now, if you have a WPML license, you also have you can have access for free as well. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was just helping somebody else on a couple of projects that had types involved. But
okay. This is something new. It's something that about 1 month, I think, maybe 2 months, I think. I don't know, something like that, between 1 and 2 months. So you can also give it a try access if you want.
Well, nice. Well, if you could, send me the link for the information on that at some point.
Yeah.
I do have a lifetime license with WPML and use it quite often, but I haven't really used types all that much.
Okay, I can give you, as soon as we finish, I can send you the link, because right now I don't have idea what is it. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Later, and I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're coming up on an hour. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to share? Any message for your Paizo brothers?
Yeah, Mama, Mama, como dice, Mamá, estoy triunfando.
All right.
No, really, it's really being here, and I apologize about the schedule. Actually, I feel like my mom right now. I feel like you can just make a different hours. It's not that complicated, but well, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I have to tell my mom right now. She's going to laugh. She's going to laugh at me. She will say, "You see, it's not that easy." So
don't tell her. Don't tell her. You'll never let you live it down.
I don't know. She deserves it, I think. You're going to be her final glory moment.
All right, man. Well, it was great talking to you. Thanks for joining us.
Jason, thank you. Thank you. I'm really glad to be here, okay?
Thanks.